Car bombs, likely set off by ISIS, killed at least 60 people today near a town in northern Syria that was liberated yesterday. ISIS is lashing out as it continually loses ground in its strongholds of Raqqa in Syria and Mosul in Iraq. David Martin is traveling with the top U.S. commander in the region.
ISIS released a video purporting to show a dead hit by a drone on an Iraqi armored personnel carrier. But that did not stop Iraqi forces in their battle to retake Mosul. They seized control of Mosul's airport and entered the western half of the city, having already liberated the eastern half. After Mosul, the next major objective in the war against ISIS is across the border in Syria.
We're inside Syria at an American Special Operations base, which is used as a hub for the campaign to liberate the ISIS capital of Raqqa.
Syrian fighters being trained here are part of a force of about 15,000 being assembled to assault Raqqa. But General Joseph Votel, commander of U.S. forces in the Middle East, told CBS News they need more than the AK-47s they'll be issued after 20 days of training.
Anti-tank weapon systems to address vehicle-borne IEDs. Certainly mortars would be something that would help. Things that they would need that you would expect of a force that's going to conduct an assault.
The weapons would be flown into this dirt airstrip built for the U.S. by a Syrian engineer who lost his family to ISIS. We landed in tilt-rotor Osprey aircraft, but the strip is long enough to handle large cargo planes from the United States. Lieutenant General Steve Townsend, the commander of the campaign in both Iraq and Syria, says what's at stake is heading off terrorist attacks already in the works.
There are threat streams that are external operations focused, emanating from Raqqa right now. Most of them point, quite honestly, at Europe.
Scott, one American officer told us he expects the Syrian fighters to suffer heavy losses in the battle for Raqqa, and this is take no prisoners fighting on both sides. According to U.S. estimates, 1,600 ISIS fighters have been killed in the last 4 months in Syria and only a dozen wounded.
So, David, what are the prospects of more U.S. troops in Syria?
Well, General Votel told us that if the U.S. provides these heavy weapons to the Syrian fighters, they'll need to be trained and advised how to use them. So that certainly sounds like more Americans will be needed. But one of the special operators we talked to made the point that if the Syrians don't get the heavy weapons, then more Americans might be needed just to take over the fighting.
David Martin, our national security correspondent on the battlefield tonight. David, thank you.